Phil. I'm Nilden.
I'm Raz.
I'm gonna bust his ass.
I'm Shane.
Slide jobs by the dozen out here.
I'm Brandon.
And he can kiss my dick.
Hello, this is Thomas.
Come here, pisser.
I'm John.
Sit down the back straightaway for the final time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Welcome to the Dirty Sliders Podcast. Stay sideways. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Dirty Sliders. I know we might have disappointed a few of y'all last week, but we'll get into that a little later. I appreciate you guys every week tuning in to listen to us. Bunch of knuckleheads talk and BS about dirt track racing. So with that, I'll turn it over to Raz.
So we're down not just one but two tonight. Brandon's traveling for work. The ever missing Shane is still missing. Hopefully he can get in here soon. So yeah, we have missed a full episode and then missed a night last night because we've had issue after issue after issue. The problem was we were recording under Zoom. We basically have already outgrown Zoom, so we're using a different program. They're not paying me a dime, so I'm not going to mention their name, but it seems to be working out pretty good so far. Time will tell. We'll see what the final product looks like, but we appreciate everybody sticking with us through this, and we're going to keep working hard to make it better every time. And but again, we're not experts or professionals, so we're going to screw it up.
Yeah, and you guys watching, give us your feedback. Let us know what you think. Is it better? Is it worse? Should we keep on with this program? Yeah. Should we try something different? Let us know. You're the guys watching it. We're doing it for you guys, just as much as we are to BS with each other.
Right. Thomas, you want to...
What do we got?
Get into the Chase Johnson update?
Sure. I don't have the video ready to share. If somebody does, go ahead and just start playing it. I'll stop talking whenever it comes on. A couple weeks ago, I got to go see the World of Outlaws at Bakersfield, and I ran into somebody who was selling a bunch of Chase Johnson t-shirts, and I got an update from her about him, and then this video came out, which just kind of strengthens what's going on there. But essentially, Chase is at a spot now to where he needs to be transferred to a specialty center in Atlanta, Georgia for spinal cord injuries, and it's the same one that Sammy Swindell went to. So they have experience in these situations and this kind of stuff. There was a video released, the one I was just speaking of, where Chase is actually talking. So that's good news. That is great news to see Chase talking. He had a lot of surgeries, including a trach and a feeding tube and whatnot, but he has gotten to the point where he can now speak. Super awesome. If you follow their Facebook page, you'll probably seen the post where they were talking about medical bills and everything, and I think that there has been a good amount of money raised, but it's going to take a lot more to help cover what he's got going on with everything. So, anybody got the video ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it. I'm trying to get it pulled up here.
Yeah, here I got it. I got it ready. Let me try the new share. Share my screen. I have my Facebook here. Let's share that.
Coming up. There we go.
There we go. So there's Chase. I haven't actually watched this because I've been busy today, but let's
turn the volume down a little bit on it. It's going to be loud. I know that from last night.
Okay. Turn the volume. Let me know if I need to turn it up, though. Okay, here we go.
Hey, everybody. Just wanted to check in and say thank you. I can finally talk now, and wanted to get on here and just say thank you for all the support from everybody. It's been truly amazing to see everyone's support, everyone's messages, everyone's, my family's been keeping me updated. I've been seeing, comments and posts and people's donations, and it's truly amazing. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. We've been here at the hospital at UC Davis for almost exactly a month now. like I said, I can finally talk now, which is really great. It's been really a tough road to get to this point. The most pain I've ever experienced in my whole life. Didn't know that that pain could be this hard, but I've been working really, really, really hard to get better. And we leave for rehab at the Shepherd Center, Atlanta, Georgia. It's one of the best spinal cord rehab places in the United States. So I'm really looking forward to getting there and getting to work. And like I said, working really hard to get back to 100%. So like I said, thank you everybody for your support.
Yeah, and there you have it. I think with this new program, these videos should play clear. I know that when I was watching it there, it wasn't clear, but I'm hoping that with this new program, you can see it clearly. If it's not, guys, I encourage you to go watch it. He's moving his shoulders, which is a promising sign. I mean, you don't ever see his hands or his arms or nothing, but his shoulders are moving like he's wiggling his body. So that gives me promise and that gives me hope. But just time will tell. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's a rough one, especially when you see a young man like that talk about experiencing the most pain he's ever had in his life.
That you could imagine.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a little rough. Chase is a fine young man. I've had a little dealings with him myself. A heck of a race car driver. I hope he can follow the path of Dazen Persley, who went through this same rehab center in Atlanta that Sammy Swindell went through. And Dazen was paralyzed. I don't know how far down, but I know at least his legs were not working, and he's now made a full recovery and is back in a race car. And actually, I think he's like fourth in Outlaw points.
Yeah, it's amazing to see that, he's actually got vocals. He's able to talk. So that's great news there. I mean, yeah, he's got a trach, yeah, he's got a feeding tube. But the fact that mentally he's there is a huge step in the right direction. That's something that none of us were sure of with the news we were getting. You get told, yeah, Chase is fighting. He's a strong person. He's fighting. Well, is that something he's vocalizing to, or you're just hoping in what you're seeing from the data coming off the machines? So him actually talking to us, that's a big deal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I said I hope he makes full recovery. I know his mom posted something about how medical insurance is going to pay zero of the rehab center in Georgia. I know that some of the support exceeds six figures, and hopefully that's enough. We on this program, we supported him, and contributed some money. Might see if we can do something again, a little later down the line, and get that, some more support toward him. But right now, just keep him in our thoughts.
Yep. Hey, John, I don't want to put you on the spot. Did we get that Chase Johnson link thrown up on our social media pages for our T-shirts and stickers?
We will, yeah, and I'll put it with the video, so we'll have everything up there, and I will do that first thing tomorrow.
Yeah, and then, hey, guys, all that information, all that stickers and T-shirt money goes towards Jason, his recovery. They're not pocketing a dime of that stuff.
All right, I'm going to attempt to share our sponsor video. We'll see how that goes.
Hey, bring on the newbie shit. We're going. Let's go.
Someone else is currently sharing. I assume it'd be Bridger.
Oh, am I still sharing? I thought I stopped. Am I sharing still?
Someone is.
Doesn't look like it.
All I had was the Chase video.
Yeah, did you hit stop sharing when you were done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well then, I guess we're just...
Because if I hit share, it's... Yeah, it shouldn't be me. I don't know who's...
Okay.
Because I don't have anybody sharing anything.
Anyway, since we can't share it, thanks to RDS Media, Ryan Spencer, for sponsoring the program. We appreciate it. He's a great kid and a friend of the program, along with his dad. And he is a professional photographer, He also does media work, social media work, drone work. So if you have anything that you can, racing related that you want done, contact him. I guess the best way to contact him is RDS Media on Facebook, or Ryan Mitchell Spencer on Facebook. So thanks, Ryan. We appreciate it. With that, we're going to dive. As we advertised, this was going to be the silly season special. We don't know how deep we're going to get into it because we personally have had some technical difficulties outside of the program. But I did some research on World Outlaw Sprint Cars. Some of the numbers kind of surprised me. There have been so far in the schedule, 56 races, and a grand total of 2 drivers have run all 56 races. Now, that doesn't mean that there haven't been more drivers attempt, but that means if you don't make the show, basically meaning the A feature, they count you as not in that race. So it's David Gravel and Sheldon Howdenshield who are the 2. David Gravel's leading the points, so there's no surprise there. 5 drivers with 55 starts. 10, maybe 11, depending on how you define it, full-time drivers for the season. So if you just went off that number, you go, oh my God, World Outlaw's dying. But in 2024, 362 drivers have attempted to make a start at one World Outlaw show or another. That's a ton. So obviously there's still some interest in World Outlaws. With everybody's saying the high limits killing World Outlaws. I don't know if that's exactly true. Run down real quick. David Gravel for Big Game Motorsports. He ain't going anywhere. Carson Macedo, Jason Johnson Motorsports. He's not going anywhere. They love him there. Donnie Schatz for Tony Stewart Racing. Do we even need to say this? I think that ride is his until he retires. Michael Buddy Kofoid, California driver. This is his first year in World Outlaw. He's been running for Roth Enterprises. Dennis and Teresa Roth. That team's notable, and they run Toyota power. And there does not appear to be any changes going there. That ride is his for next year, it looks like. Giovanni Scelzi for KCP Racing. Looks like he's going to stay put. Now we finally get to something where there may be some movement. Logan Schuart for Shark Racing. There's always drama with this team, and when you find out how the team structure is, you'll know why. The team owner is Bobby Allen, and Logan Schuart's teammate is Jacob Allen. Guess what? They're related. That's father and son. And then Logan is the nephew of Bobby Allen. So anytime you have family and business, there's going to be drama, and that team it seems like it always has drama. I know Jacob last year rage quit that team and went and drove for someone else, and now he's back racing for him. Supposedly it was, they worked it all out, blah blah blah. But anyway, there might be some moves there just based on the fact that, like I said, there's almost always moves with that team. Sheldon Howdenshield running for Stenhouse Marshall. He's not going anywhere. This next guy, I love his nickname, Bill Balog, the North Pole Nightmare.
Does he look like Santa?
No, he's originally from Alaska. He's currently running out of Wisconsin for B Squared Motorsports. The B Squared is Bill Balog and Ryan Booser. So I guess when you own your team, you're not going anywhere.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And then number 9, Brock Zerfoss. That is a family team also. They made some shakeups for this season in that they all new crew chief, all new crew, but they seem like it gelled a little bit, so I don't see any changes going on there. And then last, Landon Crawley is running for Jason Sides, and they seem to be happy together. The 11th place guy is Craig Kinzer. Again, that's a family-owned team. They're not going anywhere. Number 12 is a guy who's kind of near and dear to me and Phil's heart, Bill Rose. We actually helped him out in a parking lot at Merced, and then went and helped him out. Was it Hanford that we went and helped him at? Phil, do you remember?
I can't remember. No, I can't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, good guy, but that team's always underfunded and always underperforming. I think Bill, he's an older guy, kind of on the tail end of his career, but he's a talented driver. And then a new team for 2025 is going to be Cole Macedo. He said he's going to run full-time. Cole Macedo is the little brother of Carson Macedo, so that there might be some brother-on-brother action there. That team,
family show.
Yeah. That's 2C Racing, who had Wayne Johnson as the driver, and that driver, the owner was on record as saying, if it's not Wayne, I don't want anybody. And then Wayne went to him and said, hey, look, we can get Cole, put him in a seat, and I'll crew chief for him. And the team owner says, yeah, let's try it. So they're supposed to run a full schedule for World Outlaws next year. And that's pretty much what I got for World Outlaws Sprint Cars.
Cool.
Well, that takes us to
Dave
Thomas
Blaney and his
with,
walk-off
some
victory. Yeah,
Thomas, yeah.
Yeah.
With old Dave.
that was a cool story.
Yeah. So I didn't even realize that he was racing this weekend, but the Lou Blaney Memorial, which was played on apparently Dirt Vision, was this past weekend, the 10th annual, I believe, and old Dave Blaney goes out there and gets it done for his father in that race. Obviously, that's super cool in what it is that Dave Blaney wins the race named after his father. But something even cooler than that, I think, was Dave got out of the car and set his helmet down and said, that's it, I'm done. And that was his last race. So a walk-off win for a family race at a local track like that, it's really cool. And it's just, what a career.
You're missing part of the story.
Go ahead then.
The Sharon Speedway, where he had that win, the Blaney family owns that track. So Dave and Dale Blaney partner in that track. So it's, and then if you look on the side of the car, there was the Ryan Blaney family as a sponsor. So at the track that he owns, at the race for his father, sponsored by his son, he went, it ain't ever going to get any better than this. See ya. Yeah. So, pretty cool story, and Dave's a heck of a guy.
No, I'm calling it. It's nepotism.
Yeah.
It was rigged.
Yeah, Dave is.
Who was the flag? Who was in the flag stand?
Who's the flag man? The nephew?
But one of the things I've always liked about Dave Blaney is, going way back, he's never been afraid to try different things on a sprint car. He's had some pretty radical ideas go on the track, and so some good, some bad. He ran World Outlaws in the Viverman number 10 car for years. Was a perennial contender, won quite a few races. Had tried his hand at NASCAR for a little while and did okay. His kid might turn out to be a NASCAR driver. Time will tell.
He might get a championship.
He's a NASCAR driver.
We'll see.
Yeah, just the current defending champion. That's all.
Yeah, he might do okay. If nothing else, he's always going to be a NASCAR champion. He could just crap the bed and leave now.
But that's asphalt.
He'll still be better than Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
All right, drag this back to the dirt.
I saw a meme today that says, anytime you're feeling down, just remember, you've won exactly as many races as Danica Patrick and not wrecked 40 similar cars.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that brings
she's
us
a little
to
Taylor Swift-ish, with keeping a man.
I know a thing or two.
Damn.
Bringing it back.
All right. That brings us to high limit sprint cars. I did similar research on high limit. There were four drivers with 47 starts. The majority of them were like, between. I cut it off at 39 starts. If you didn't make at least 39 starts, I didn't consider you a full-time driver for high limit. And I only went with the weekend series. I didn't go for the midweek series. This show would go on for another hour. I'm gonna run through this real quick. There ain't hardly any changes. Everybody's pretty much staying put. Brad Sweet's running for Casey Kane. Yeah, I wonder when that relationship.
Not going anywhere.
I wonder when that relationship will end. Rico Abro owns his own car.
Not going anywhere.
Tyler Courtney's running for Stenhouse Marshall, I think. Brent Marks owns his own car. Here's a change. Corey Day, he's going to NASCAR. Justin Peck, staying put. James McFadden. Some speculation of whether or not he'll race next year because he's an Aussie. I think he's actually from Tasmania, and it's just funding. It's him spending all the time in the States. He has a business back in Tasmania and everything. Spencer Baston staying put. Parker Price Miller staying put. Here's the mover. Corey Eliason currently in the Ridge and Sons Racing RSR number 8. They're saying that due to lack of funding, he's out of that ride. And so the rumor is Aaron Reitzel into that car. I like Reitzel. He's a aggressive driver. He will move you out of the way. So we'll see how that goes. Zeb Wise staying put. Jacob Allen has run a few high limit races. It's like he's splitting his time between high limit and World Outlaws. We pretty much already covered that. Tanner Thorson, that ride is pretty safe. Casey Kane owns his own ride. Chris Wyndham, he's probably staying put. This one I didn't really know whether to put it in high limit or World Outlaws, but it's a winged 410 car that runs a lot of shows. Hunter Schoenberg was in the TKS car. He has since been fired after 11 races, and his best finish was 13th. It's a shame. I have had Hunter as a driver at Chili Bowl and helped him out. Super nice guy, but there's the reason they call Hunter the man of 1,000 rides. He tends to bounce. The rumor to TKS is Danny Sims the third going in there, and the secondary part of that rumor is full season of high limit next year. But TKS is kind of known for having a revolving door with drivers, so who knows. So that's pretty much it with high limit. Oh, one other thing.
Any surprises?
I thought the Corey Eliason thing was a surprise, but back to World Outlaws, Dazen Pursley showed up at a race wearing a fire suit with NOS sponsorship on it. Nothing on the car, and it was a midget race, not a sprint car race. So I guess that's the hot rumor, is that he's picked up the NOS sponsorship and will probably be coming out with a NOS livery on his race car. But he's currently running for Chad Boat in the midgets, and Chad Boat has a long-standing relationship with NOS too, so it might mean nothing. It might have just been a Chad Boat thing. It might have just been a fire suit he grabbed out the trailer. Who knows?
Could have been a borrowed.
Yeah, but most race car drivers have the same philosophy that I do. If you ain't paying, I'm not displaying.
To an extent, for sure. I also have the philosophy of, if I ain't got my shit and you say you got a seat, I'll wear whatever I got.
True.
You say, hey, you want to drive Sun Central? I got stuff that'll fit. I'm in.
Yeah, there's a reason I take
I'm not gonna say no to driving.
there's a reason I take my helmet and fire suit to the track with me whenever I go. It's you can call it wishful thinking.
Guaranteed.
Whatever.
So between the high limit and the World of Outlaws, I mean, what do you guys think about those drivers' moves?
Like I said, no real surprises. The only real the real surprise to me is how little movement there is. It's like everybody seems to be pretty happy with the rides they got. I don't know if here let's insert the hot take here. Is World of Outlaws going to gain teams or lose teams? That's the question for 2025, because we've talked a little bit on this podcast before. If you make it a punishment for a driver or a team that goes and races for somebody outside your series, I think you're following the wrong business model, and that's currently World of Outlaws' business model. If they're only allowed 4 or 5 races in a season where they can go race somewhere else and still stay in the points fund for World Outlaws. So is it a dying breed after revolutionizing sprint car racing in the 70s? Has their time come? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I believe that's going to be one of their biggest hurdles to overcome. I think Neilden is the one who said it, and if it's been said on the podcast, I'll repeat it. If you're the baddest thing on dirt, why do you got to put that restriction on your people?
Right. Yeah. If you're the bad mofo, right, people are going to want to come.
I mean, I understand why they say it, because they want to be able to sell. Hey, come see these guys only with the World of Outlaws.
Right.
So I get that mentality, but I think that's an old mentality now, especially with High Limit coming out going, hey, we're not World of Outlaws, but we got money.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things that High Limit's doing right is they pay really well. They have high purses.
Mm-hmm.
That series is well funded. It's well documented that they're well funded because they have some pretty big names behind them as far as running that team. It's Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet's baby, and they want to see it succeed. They hired a bunch of people, like officials and executives, away from World Outlaws, and they merged with Tony Stewart's ASCS series, so that they got a lot of track dates because of that, and they run all over. They are following the old World of Outlaws model, and I think if World Outlaws isn't worried, they should be.
Yeah, I mean, and you think about the Outlaws, is the outlaw was, I'm going to go chase the money. That's where it started with, and then it's gone away from that. I think that's where they lost themselves. That's part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you help each other, right? If you let them go race world, swap race teams wherever they want to go race, when you have the stars, you promote that. You say, hey, this week at World Outlaws at Bakersfield, we have whoever racing that wasn't at the last race or two. They need to help each other more than fight, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think race tracks, race series, and race drivers need to think of themselves as partners. If you're a race car driver, well, if the track goes belly up, you're screwed. And if you're the race track and you piss off a bunch of drivers and suddenly your car count drops, well, you're screwed. And I think we've all run tracks. Hell, we've all run the same track at Verona. The thing is that there's almost always an instant adversarial relationship between race car drivers and the racetrack. It's like, you do it my way, or just pack up your shit and go, or why can't we do this? And it's all drivers meetings are a train wreck at every track I've ever went to, with people complaining about this or that, and you can't do that on the track, and all that BS.
I mean, I think it truly is a symbiotic relationship, and both sides are too bullheaded to realize that.
Yeah, I agree. I think most race promoters think, I'm the show. You're just the mules that I use to put on the show.
You're the dancing chickens.
Without me, you'd have nowhere to race. Yep.
And without us, you wouldn't have a racetrack.
Yeah, and they're both
exactly. It's
they're both
symbiotic.
right.
I mean, is there more racers out there? Yeah. Is there more tracks out there? Yeah. But Verona, for when all of us lived here, was within 45 minutes of anywhere we lived to get to the track. The next closest track, Paris is what? Average 2 hours?
Yeah.
Is the next closest Kokopah 2 hours?
Yeah.
I don't want to have to drive 2 hours.
Our pure stock guys could go up there and run the factories up at Paris, but Paris doesn't run IMCA no more. So all of us IMCA guys would have to go to Kokopah, Mojave Valley, Bakersfield, Central.
Ventura?
So I don't know if Ventura
I don't
does.
know.
I haven't done that research.
Ventura doesn't run any modifieds or anything.
So.
Yeah. So, I mean, Verona's, closes up shop. Now you're traveling 2 hours every week, no matter where you want to go race. So, are the racers right that the tracks need us? Yeah. But if you want to stay close to home, you need the track.
So what if in a perfect world, every time a track put out a post or put out the word, hey, we're doing XYZ at the track this next off weekend when you guys aren't racing. If we could get a bunch of people out here to help out, that would be awesome. And when they did that, most, if not all, of the racers showed up and helped out and gave their time. And then vice versa, how about if, one night the track goes, hey, we're going to do Racer Appreciation Night. Your car and driver gets in free. Only pay for your crew members. Santa Maria Speedway used to do a cool thing for Racer Appreciation for the final championship night. You had the chance to load up and leave anytime you wanted to on the final night of the season. Once everyone had left that was going to leave, they closed and locked the entry gate so nobody could get out of the track. And then the beer vendor rolled out this mobile beer trailer, and beer was free. And all the racers pulled up, barbecues and grills, and it just became a big party BS session where you'd go from, trailer to trailer, camp to camp, and see what they were cooking, and talk to people and see how they're doing. And because everybody was locked in, there were no DUIs because you couldn't leave until the next morning. And it was kind of a cool racer appreciation thing that they did. So that was, I think, one of the better things that a track did.
I think something like that though is a long-term goal for most tracks. Because you can't just throw that at the end of the season, be like, hey, we're going to do something, and expect people to actually stay. That's something you build up over years of appreciation.
And I don't know that that's the perfect model, because I don't think, because of liability, you could do that anymore.
All right, Phil, your turn.
That's also when it goes back to when racers actually didn't have animosity with each other. You had your rivalries, but they didn't have animosity where you couldn't put two racers next to each other and them not want to rip each other's head off. And it was a truly family deal. When I was racing go-karts, we would do that. We would get together, guys would get together at the end of the night, and coolers would come out and grills would come out, and we would break bread and bench race. Nowadays, especially in my last couple of years of racing, it felt as though as the family that we all talk about was actually breaking up. It was kind of a deal of there had to be this animosity and anger toward each other for no reason. And tracks, used to be promoters would try and avoid that and stop that. Now it seems to be in today's society with reality TV, you got to have drama. Everything's got to be drama, and there's got to be animosity, and there's got to be the fights, and it's making it not fun. And I listen to a lot of drivers. I mean, we got our pure stock drivers. We listen to them when they're talking about stuff. Internally, they're fighting themselves. It's like, why am I doing this? Because it's not fun anymore. And if it becomes fun again, then you might start seeing what Marshall was talking about, like happened in Santa Maria.
Well, and I would send this message out to every single racer out there. You don't have enemies, you have competitors. Quit thinking of that other driver as your enemy. He's your competitor. And you guys have an awful lot in common because you're a dirt track racer and so is he, and you have the same interest. And, you know, maybe, just maybe, when he came up and nudged you with that, you know, fender or whatever, it's because, you know, he was on the ragged edge of control and, you know, he ran out of room, ran out of talent. That doesn't mean he was being a dickhead and trying to crash you. And then, you know, the other thing, too, is if somebody does something to you on the track, don't be a dickhead. Go try to crash them. You know, be a competitor, not an enemy.
Yeah.
Right.
That's very valid.
And that is because there were times that in the middle of the race I felt like I was the victim. You're probably right, Raz. I wasn't. Maybe it was just a, you know, racing incident. But after that, yeah, my competitive juices got going. And that was one of my races where my crew chief JT and my wife were like, you were driving angry, but you were driving fast. That's the fastest you ever drove.
That was half my challenge with when I was crew chief for Phil. Was do I wind him up or calm him down? Play psychiatrist with his head, depending on what night it was.
And I was just going to say that is it's like
your sexy dance in front of the car.
Yeah, but I mean, and it's exactly what Neilden just said. Is it's like, you know, I don't know when the transition happened, but it seemed to be like, you know, you were enemies and you couldn't be friends, and it's like at the end of the day, you can't do it that way. You've got to, like Marshall said, people don't know the line between just a really hard competitor and then a guy trying to kill you. I mean, we got accused of trying to kill somebody on the racetrack. Absolutely not. Anybody that knows me knows that's the last thing I would do, and we were always one of the first ones to give whatever we had to anybody. I mean, we gave tires away, Neilden, and
hey, you weren't using them,
guys. And, well, we gave tires away, and then I come in and needed them. If I remember correctly, a couple times.
I got you another one.
And,
yeah, and you had a tire.
Yeah.
It may have been somebody else's, but you had a tire.
But the point
it's okay. We're a family, right?
But the problem was, like I said, is that family atmosphere went away. And it got to the point where it's like, you know, yeah, whatever, dude. I mean, some guys say I wouldn't walk across the road to pee on you if you were on fire and I was dribbling down my leg. And that's the mentality we're getting. You got to get out of that mentality now.
Yeah. Well, to steer it back more to the silly season stuff, one final thought I had on the high limit deal was, so what the high limit is doing this year, at the end of the year, the top 5 in points get a charter. I'm assuming somewhat close in structure to what NASCAR is doing with their charters for the teams, since the guy who owns it is a NASCAR guy. What do you guys think of that?
Well, what's the charter going to guarantee them is the question.
What was that, Phil?
I don't like charters.
He don't like charters.
Yeah.
If it,
I don't know. I don't know the details of what it would guarantee.
I don't like.
Yeah, I think it is doing that. It's guaranteeing that you will have at least a provisional to get into the A feature, and then they're saying that the following year, the next 5 drivers in points who don't already have a charter will get a charter. And I understand the reason why the race teams want a charter. It gives them some lasting value for their investment. So that if they decide they want to get out of the sport and sell their team, well, you know, you sell the charter with it, and that's going to have some value. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how. I've listened to a lot of podcasts and stuff where, you know, they're talking about the charter does this for the teams, the charter does that against the sanctioning body, and, you know, they whatever. But So I don't have the answer, but I just thought it was an interesting thing that High Limit's doing.
I can elaborate a little bit because I'm looking at it here. But so like you said, 2024 top 5 get charters. At the conclusion of 2025, another 5 teams will get charters based on their performance during the 2 seasons. And then these 10 charters, they will get 50% of the media revenue in the 2026 season, and they'll receive that revenue in monthly fixed payments that will vary based on the performance of the team, measured by factors including their average finishing position, race wins, and championships.
And that's it?
It does not guarantee a spot.
Come on.
Revenue share, I'm all for. We can spread the pie around a little bit.
But if it's guaranteeing them a spot in the race, then no, I don't agree with that.
Well, it says these charters cannot be leased to another team, and they're only limited to 2 charters per owner.
Yeah, there's ways around that.
And
I'm an owner, my wife's an owner, my brother's an owner.
My kids are owners.
That it's based on performance. Yeah. I like that it's based on performance. Like, you got to be top 5 to get one for next year. So you're not getting, I know somebody who's got hundreds of millions of dollars, and I'm just going to throw whoever in my race car, and they're going to go right around the track, and it's not going to look good. You actually have to perform to get that benefit.
But if they're non-transferable, then it's not so much giving them the sellability of the charter.
Well, no, they're saying you can't lease the charter. So you can't own the charter and let somebody else use it. But if you sell your team, the charter would go with it.
It sounds here, based upon a quote from Brad Sweet, it says that sprint car racing has changed over the last 4 to 5 years with streaming money coming in and some money going to the teams, but ultimately we want to do is build High Limit and truly align ourselves with the team owners, who are the backbone of the sport, and allow us to showcase our skill set, speaking on the drivers. He said, we want to reward teams with a charter or franchise that aligns our interest, so a revenue share as we grow together. They'll be a part of the growing process.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, give it a shot, see what happens. Maybe it sticks to the fan, maybe it sticks to the wall.
Yeah.
So, next up on our sheet, we have Thomas with Lucas Oil Late Models. Did you get a chance to do research into the silly season there?
I did a little bit, not quite nearly as in-depth as you did. I was going to hit the big bullet points. So I think one of the biggest moves that's already happened this season, obviously, was the RTJ move to Kohler. He hasn't been near as successful in that car. He's run good, but he hasn't been as successful. But I think the big thing that could be opening up for him is that Riggs Racing Longhorn Chassis Factory team has opened up. Brandon Shepard is out of that ride at the end of this season. Brandon Shepard does not, as of now, have anything locked down for 2025. He says that he will run the Wild West Shootout in Vado in Las Cruces, New Mexico on his family's team, but from past that, they're still looking to lock something down full season for him. With that Longhorn Factory ride opening up, I think Ricky Thornton's got to be the guy to move in there. He's got this ride to last him through this season, but he doesn't have anything guaranteed past the end of this season. And he's been dead damn fast in a Longhorn car for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's a good fit for RTJ.
So, and those were the big ones that really the only ones that I was able to get pulled up right here. I had another list, but I'm not sure where I stuck it right now.
What about the rumors around T-Mac and the Rocket House car?
I heard the rumors. I went looking. I don't see anything solid. If T-Mac leaves that Rocket 1 car, then I would see Brandon Shepard possibly going back to that Rocket 1. I mean, Brandon Shepard's comfortable in a Rocket car. T-Mac, it took him up until a month ago to get his first win in that Rocket car. So if Brandon Shepard needs a ride and Rocket's opening back up, maybe they bring him back in.
Yeah, and then Well, never mind. Sorry. I answered my own question.
Well, what was
Had the
what was
thought,
it?
the question, and everything on your head,
Share it with the group, Raz. Let's hear it.
Well, but I was going to say, what the question becomes is the Bloomquist team going to go forward without Bloomquist? And I just remembered that I saw a post where they're going to auction off all his assets.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of Bloomquist, kind of a cool thing at the Four Crown Nationals. Rico raced.
Oh, are you going to talk about Rico?
No, you are.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Let's hear it. You're so damn happy for this guy.
No, it was Neildon's deal, so he's gonna lay it out.
Oh well, I love Rico. I'm sorry, his energy is infectious. The guy's always happy. He's always with his fans. He stays late. He signs everything. He's just an awesome driver and an awesome personality, and he's just infectious. I think of Rico, and I think a happy guy, and then he goes out, gets yet another win, and then he does the Bloomquist on the wing, and then he jumps off the wing. And he's an awesome dude. I love Rico. I've never met him. One day I will. Rico, if you hear this, get on this podcast. We'll figure it out.
So,
but he's on a roll. He's winning left, right, and sideways, and he did the
Bloomquist crotch chop on standing up on the wing. And if you're gonna have to use your imagination a little bit. Basically, he just went bam like Bloomquist.
Yeah.
There's a message there.
The suck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to remember that Bloomquist carried him out on his shoulders one year.
Oh yeah, him and Bloomquist
they were
really
good buddies.
friends.
They were good friends.
Now I have
he did a
I have met Rico a few times at Chili Bowl. Am I stepping on somebody? Somebody trying to talk?
We are. John, go.
We're probably all are. I got the Rico one that Neildon sent us. I'll pull it up for sharing. You guys ready?
Show it, baby. Show it. Yes.
Okay. Play.
Bam!
And then he freaking crowd surfs off his wing to his crew guy.
Does he jump into some guy's arms? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there.
One of his crew guys. and he's not a light feller. He's short, but he is not light.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. He's probably dense.
He's very dense.
And all that. Yes.
Yeah.
But I saw him win, and then he put a message out. He basically did his own memorial message to Scott that weekend.
Yeah.
He waited till he was where it felt right for him to say his piece about him, about his buddy.
Yeah. I have.
And then to win it, get to do that, love the guy.
Yeah. I have met Rico at Chili Bowl a few times and talked to him a couple times. One of the coolest stories from Chili Bowl is you're coming up out of the grandstands, and it's this big, long ramp going upwards towards the pit area because the track is set below.
We'll have to show the video of the guy getting smoked sometime.
Yeah. So, anyway, the track surface is set below the level of the pit, so there's this big, long ramp. And Bobby Unser, yes, that Bobby Unser, was going up that ramp in his electric scooter chair, and it was the end of the night, so Bobby's battery wasn't exactly doing what it was supposed to do. So it's going up there pretty slow, and all of a sudden, Bobby's chair speeds up, starts going faster and faster, and Bobby's like looking around, and he doesn't see anybody. And when they get up to the top of the ramp, it was Rico behind him, and he's like, "Come on, Bobby, we can get him. So but yeah, super nice guy to talk to. Always seems like he has a smile on his face. Seems like he always has positive energy. And when we go to Chili Bowl again in January, heck yeah, I'm going to see if I can sit down with him and get him on the podcast.
Yeah, you can be busy this year.
That'd be cool.
One of these years I'll join you.
Hey, it's a bucket list item, and I highly recommend it.
Oh, it's on my list.
Yeah.
My list is getting longer because I'm not chopping it off, so, going the wrong direction. But, we'll be all right.
And we have an Airbnb this year, so all you got to do is get your butt out there.
And get a ticket.
Yeah, well, do the same thing I do. Buy a pit pass.
Yeah.
They stopped selling tickets. They never stopped selling pit passes.
Yeah.
This is facts.
Yeah. Tickets are for seats. Pit passes are for a wide area.
Well, you can get a pit pass and then go down with the turn 2 rowdies. They're named that way.
No marshmallows.
They're named that for a reason.
No more marshmallows, though.
Yeah.
But they self-banned that, didn't they?
They self-banned it. The marshmallows were getting out of hand. Guys were soaking them in beer and then just biffing people with them. And we're not talking about the little bitty marshmallows. We're talking about the big honkers. Mm.
Big.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if I get thwacked with a beer-soaked marshmallow, I'm going to want to have to go conversation with somebody.
Well, at least lightning and thunder will. But yeah, Rico's awesome. I'm glad to see him on a winning streak because I don't even know how many he's won this year, but he's been doing pretty good. Guy's a happy guy, always a positive influence on the sport and for, the people of his type.
He's won a lot of big money races this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to have the IRS talking to him this year probably.
Not if you.
Yeah, and it's funny because
not unless he writes a big enough check.
There's a certain uninformed group of racers that think Kyle Larson put Rico Abreu on the map. It is 100% the other way around. Rico Abreu put Kyle Larson on the map and basically introduced him to the world and made it possible for him to have the career he does today. Who, by the way...
They're kind of buddies.
Yeah, they're really good friends. By the way, he announced he's going to do the double again next year. So Indy 500 and World 600 or Coca-Cola 600. I can't keep
God, I want to go to that. I want to go to that and be on his plane to get between them two so I can see both. I want to do the 1100 myself.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do a commercial, though, without police escorts.
No.
Probably not. Or a private jet.
All right. I think we don't have...
Yeah, but
does
then
anybody
you
have
go in
anything else,
helicopter.
really?
I
got-
actually have. I got Ryan's video pulled up for sharing.
Oh,
if we want to
let's go.
close that
Let's
with
put it
that.
on there.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question for the Dirty Air.
Let's take care of
Okay.
our sponsor first.
Please,
Yeah,
please.
Okay, sponsor first. Sharing my screen. Facebook. Share. Okay.
I like how John gets the
Whee!
running dialogue.
Oh, loud. Oh, loud.
You're watching RDS Media.
Going for round two. Woo!
for
Yeah,
round two,
that
now I
was
stop.
loud.
Yeah, so that's
That was loud.
that's
Sorry, I
some
turned it down.
examples
Did
of
it get
Ryan's.
better?
That's some examples of Ryan's work there. If anybody wants to reach out to him, like I said, RDS Media on Facebook, and then Ryan Mitchell Spencer on Facebook.
Cool.
Yeah,
I
sure.
have a dirty slider of the week.
Oh, I didn't have anything this week.
The only dirty slider I got is me with all the technical difficulties we had last week. But go for it, Thomas.
I vote
All
for
right.
Marshall.
So,
Second. I vote for Kentucky.
Who's this Marshall
Thomas,
character you
your
speak of?
dirty slider just lost.
Right.
Guess that football
well,
team.
I'm still going to show it.
Dustin goes to the top.
You guys... Oh, that's not the right video. Hold on.
It's also pretty loud.
Where is it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely
I
need to
can
turn the
turn it
volume down.
I can turn it down.
And
just
close
had
the
this
the
sucker.
dirty slider opening window there. Our
There
private
we go.
conversations.
There we go. All right, let's see if I can. I don't know how to do volume on this guy. Oh, it's on or off. Let me see if this one will do it. Tell me if this helps.
No, I can still see Phil.
Wow. We got to give him that one. I've been ragging on John pretty hard, so it's all with love, Bubba.
Riveting broadcast here.
I know.
Oh, share went away.
Did you guys get it?
All right,
nope, nothing.
No.
It never showed.
Nothing? Oh, I couldn't hear a thing.
I couldn't see a thing either.
I vote for Raz's.
Well, now it's for Thomas for that failure of a slider.
I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna get this.
Oh, so you're gonna keep failing until you succeed?
Can you guys see it now?
Just like a chief.
Okay, we're closer. We have one video up.
So you can. Okay.
No way! Upper drove that thing all the way back to I-30 before he turned left, and the 35. He didn't have to lift, David. That's the deal. If you're going to throw a slider, you got to clear them.
There you go.
Okay, there's our dirty slider of the week.
Yeah, I don't think it was dirty.
Was that the same one we?
I
showed?
showed like I did.
No, that was a midget race.
Was that
wasn't
that
it?
one you showed?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. That one was in the group. The midget one I showed was just tight racing. That one there, I mean, it took them both out.
Where's the wall ride that I shared?
That's
a good one.
Let's not share that three
See
podcasts
that
in a
3
row.
weeks in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be 3
No,
weeks.
not the sprint car. Not the sprint car. Let me see. Is it this one? Okay, I found the video. It's coming, it's coming. Alright, let me share it now. This one here. This battle they had for the lead. Because these boys were duking it out side by side, lap after lap. And not anymore. Back it up a little bit. One more time for you. So side by side, they've been throwing it in deep into one every lap. This last one, someone ran out of real estate.
Yeah, ran out of talent. That guy wrecked himself.
That's not a dirty slider. Yeah, he wrecked himself.
Well,
Yeah, that guy, I mean, he was already headed to the wall. He just might have climbed the wall because the other guy was there.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
the
at
guy
least we have to
they
have something to vote on. You know, can't let you run away. He didn't mean to wreck him. He just meant to rattle his cage a little.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. All right, Dale. All right, are we voting? I vote for Raz.
John?
If we're gonna, I'm gonna go with Thomas because that's at least a slider. Not as dirty as you've seen, but
yeah.
All right, Raz, let's hear it.
Thomas's video.
I'm going with cornfield.
Yeah. Well, I'm going with mine, so.
All right.
Well, there we go.
This is devolving into something wholly unentertaining. So let's call it a night.
Well, I just have a question for Phil. Since he's our F1 guru, little time for dirty air. What do you think about Danny Ricciardo? I'm sure he's seen the videos. Is he going to get a new ride, or what do you think?
I think that I don't think he's going to get a new ride. I think he's going to be a backup driver. I think he's going to be a relief driver for somebody.
Relief driver and, developmental?
Maybe. And it's a damn shame because the guy he's a good driver, especially if with what he did in the Singapore race by on the last lap taking the fastest lap. Now if Max Verstappen finishes second to McLaren, Norris the entire rest of the season, he'll win the championship by 1 point, which would be that 1 point that Ricciardo took away from Norris this past weekend. So, but I think it was always stacked against Daniel with the RB team. I don't think he ever truly had a chance to be successful there. He was the number one driver in a number two team, and number two teams characteristically are not consistent. So I think he was set up for failure, and I think he's going to end up being a backup driver somewhere.
I think you're probably right.
You
be a developmental driver, doing all the testing.
You mispronounced old and washed up.
Well, I'm not going to say he's washed up. I would say if you put him, if he were to go to Mercedes, I think Mercedes. I think that George Russell would be nervous. I think he's as good, if not better, of a driver than George Russell. So
he's a
I
sparkling
think if he
person.
took Sainz's place. Go ahead.
He's a sparkling personality. He's very popular. I think he's great in front of the camera. Likeable enough guy. The shoey grosses me out every time I see it, but that's his thing.
Yeah.
But I just think that Father Time has caught up with him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't want to be Fernando Alonso in F1, 40-year-old guy that's driving for a substandard team, and he's now, and he's you could tell he's getting frustrated. You could see it every week when he's running. He's getting frustrated. I think that if you were to take and put Ricciardo in Sainz's spot, not Sainz, I'm sorry, in Perez's spot in the Red Bull team, I think Max would be nervous. I honestly think Max would be nervous. I think Ricciardo could hang with Max, especially with what's going on inside Red Bull right now, because I'm thinking that Christian Horner scandal at the beginning of the season is starting to rear its ugly head within the team. I think they're starting to self-destruct a little bit over the internal animosity going on inside the team. And
losing Newey is a big deal.
Yeah. And then on the other side of that is Max has already hinted that he's considered buying a contract out with Red Bull.
Yep.
To go to a different team.
With that, let's wrap it up.
So, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell us we are amazing, tell us we suck, hit the socials.
Yeah.
We are on
Facebook,
YouTube. What else?
YouTube, yeah, we got Facebook, we got Instagram, we got Twitter. I'm going to throw all that Chase Johnson stuff up there tomorrow first thing, so that'll be there. And then we'll make some clips. Oh, look at that. We got professional Dirty Sliders podcast.
Hey, we're not professionals.
Okay,
we're just a bunch of
there we
guys
go.
that don't know it.
We're double A.
Yeah, we don't know crap. So yeah, hit us up, like, subscribe, like Neil said.
Let us know if we were amazing. Let us know if we suck. We want to know what you guys want to hear.
All right. Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Night, boys.
Night, guys.
Night, guys. Talk.